Picture the scene. It's November the 6th. I'm sat there down a YouTube rabbit hole watching some Pokemon card pack openings. I'm having a great time, and all of a sudden I see this video come up from JCC, and this video is called Max Skill Points Striker Build. So, you know, naturally, I click on the video, I have a look at what JCC is saying. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you all. I'm going to level with you. It's a good video. But, and this is the important bit, there are some bits where I thought, you know what? If he did this here, and a little bit of that there, then the build would be even better. So I was like, alright, I'll message him. But then, hold on a minute. What is this? 659,000. Are there even that many people in the world? Like, what is going on here? So I was going to message him about these little changes here and there, but to be honest, guys, I've had a better idea. So here we go. This is the very best striker build on YouTube, guaranteed 100%. The home of pro clubs. I mean, who's excited? Gamers, who's excited? We're all excited. Yeah, you're all excited. Let's go. Here he is, Laramie Jench, looking beautiful as ever. Please try to bear in mind, guys, as we do get into the build now, that this is really all a case of personal preference. This is just what works for me and what I like to use, but that might well be different for you. So, as I say, personally, 5'4" is what I go with. I think JCC is the same. The way that we play, we don't play for headers and stuff. 5'4" is just as tall as we need to go. And the benefit we get from that is the extra pace, the extra agility. I think the balance as well, rather than playing with a taller build. Try to remember as well, guys, that when you are selecting your player's height, be careful because there's kind of 2 notches within each height. So for example, if I go a little bit taller within 5'4", you'll see that my acceleration and agility has dropped down to 94. I'm going to keep that on the lower end and just get the pace as high as possible, really. In terms of the position, I'm going to be using centre forward and not striker. The reason that we do that is because we get more creative stats. Our dribbling's higher, our passing's higher. I think we take a bit of a hit on shooting maybe, but that's already ridiculously high. You can see here 95, so that's just not going to be a problem. And I think the pace is pretty much the same. So now we are going to get into the juicy end of this striker build. Over to pace straight away. Personally, this FIFA I'm using pace completely maxed out. I wish that pace wasn't as important as it has been for the past however many FIFAs, but I just like having it maxed out. It's what I feel comfortable with, knowing that I've got the best chance possible getting onto those through balls and beating my man down the line when defenders just always seem much faster than they actually should be. If I go over to dribbling now, you're going to see I have everything maxed out apart from these 2 specialities. In terms of the ball control speciality, I think once you're in the 90s, it's just not going to make that much difference, guys. I don't really want to take the hit on that agility stat and bring it down to 94. And it also saves me skill points that I'm going to be using elsewhere in the build. This balance speciality is one that I have used in the past, but again, I think that at the moment I'm preferring having the 95 dribbling and saving the skill points for elsewhere. Everything else though, you're going to want to get your agility as high as possible. Personally, we play with 5-star skill moves. I mean, I'm practically prime Ronaldinho, let's face it. Some of you might not be like that, so if you don't play with skills as much, you can definitely bring that down and save quite a lot of skill points. I mean, there you can see the 3 skill points from the 5-star skill moves. For passing, now this is going to blow some of your little minds if you've ever watched me play, because I know I am basically like Xavi on the ball in midfield, but I don't play with any passing stats, and that's basically whatever position, whatever build I'm using. I just don't really think it's worth it. I mean, you can see here, 86 short passing. You're just not going to need to go higher than that, in my opinion. And I'd rather use the skill points in other areas, such as that pace that I've already talked about. I think curve, it's true, can make a difference to your shooting. But again, to be honest, we're really going to be mainly using power shots. Near post, far post, but not very often are we going to be really finessing from the edge of the box and stuff like that. And now over to shooting. So, both myself and JCC do now use 5-star weak foot. In the past, there's been a lot of times when we haven't, but our Any Billy, who is, I mean, just one of the best pro clubs players in the world, a top 100 ultimate team player.
He told us to use this, and he's absolutely right, because we can now just always trust whatever minute of the game, whatever the situation, when the ball comes to us, we're going to get a nice clean contact, whatever foot that the shot falls on. I mean, you guys will know sometimes you'll be doing whatever you can to get it on your right foot, but your player will still just take it with his left for, I mean, God knows what reason. So the 5-star weak foot, we really think is worth it for the skill points. If it wasn't for the 5-star weak foot, I really wouldn't have these long shot stats in. I saw in JCC's build that he has this long shots advanced focus. I mean, I personally don't really take long shots. I'm not going to start having a go. It was a ridiculous decision, but it's his decision. And if he wants to use long shots advanced focus, then he can. But over here, we're not going to. What I am going to put one in instead is into shot power. So we've spoken about using a short build. The disadvantage that does give you really, as well as the strength, is the shot power. It's really low. I mean, in this FIFA, it's not too much of an issue, to be honest, but I am going to get this shot power point in here just to max it out, get it up to 76 from 75. Every little helps down there. I mean, in other game modes, you'd probably be using players with 80 plus shot power if they are a striker, so that's something just to be aware of. Finishing, I have at 95. I put all of these points in finishing. That does mean, unfortunately, you do need to spend points in heading accuracy, which most likely isn't going to be that important. And again, you're going to have to spend points in volleys, which isn't that important in order to get that 5-star weak foot. If I go over to physical, you can see I have absolutely nothing in here. I think when your strength is already so low, for me, the skill points just aren't worth it. I don't have any skill points left from what I've used so far. And as I say, I think I'd just rather have it in pace, for example, than getting up to 64 strength or whatever. Stamina is one that, for example, you can gain 4 points from going over to pace. You can go down to 94 sprint speed, which still, to be honest, is going to be very good. You shouldn't really be getting caught. And with those 4 skill points, I have in the past been using 4 stamina points, because that will actually get you up to 80 stamina from 75. So that's definitely one to think about. It's one that I have used. At the moment, as I say, I've been going without any physical stats, and you can manage just fine, really, as long as you know when to run and when really just to save up that stamina. You don't really just want to be running around all game tracking back, for example. It's not something that we do when we're playing striker. It's really important to know when to run and when to save your energy. So guys, that's what I'm using at the moment. To be honest, every few weeks I've played with things a little bit, changed things around, tried things out, and at the moment I think this is the best solution. I should probably mention as well, to be honest, that I have actually tried this build out in some 11 versus 11 games this FIFA. And yeah, I do like to think I know what I'm talking about still. I mean, I used to manage an 11 versus 11 team, which was in one of the highest leagues out there in pro clubs. And yeah, I did used to play striker quite a lot of the time on my weekends in 11 versus 11 games. So guys, as I say, it is down to personal preference, but I really hope watching this build has helped you guys out. If it does, then let me know in the comments. If there's anything you disagree with or any advice that you want to give me, then let me know in those comments down below. If this video has helped you out, then please do leave a like, because believe me, down my little end of YouTube, it does help out a huge amount. And think about subscribing as well. I mean, we need to catch up with JCC, don't we? And he's at, well, he's a little bit ahead right now on 160,000. But we'll get there. We'll get there. If you somehow haven't seen it, then absolutely do check out JCC's channel. In his videos, he'll also give you some advice on how to play striker. It's definitely worth a watch. I will link him in the description because I'm a really nice guy. And hopefully, I'll see you lot in the next video.